I hate this job. Things can't carry on like this. It's the wrong gauge. You can see the basic installation and it crushing down on the inner cores. It just upsets me. We used to be the best in the world electricians. It's just very sad to see. Welcome back to another episode of Artisan Electrics. Today, shock horror, I'm back at another EICR. Hopefully I'll find something interesting here, but in all honesty it's looking pretty straightforward, so I'll try and show you a bit of testing maybe. Today's video is sponsored by TRADIFY. I'll talk to you a bit later on about that. Let's get on with it. So I'm doing the end-to-end here on one of the rings. And if I go on my lives here, I'm getting 0.32. Neutrals are the same, but if you see our CPCs, it won't land, it's jumping up and down. It goes up to 150, down, settles, so it's indicating there's a loose connection on the circuit. So if I show you a little tip, you need two people for it however. So if Max stands and looks at that for a minute, you see I'm going around the socket and plugging into each one and giving it a wobble, and on the offending socket it affects the reading. Is that jumping up and down again? Yeah. So that's a socket in here, so I'm going to drop that socket and hopefully we should see a loose connection in there, and then that would bring that right down, because that should be about 0.5. I'm moving, it's not. Let's come out straight away. That all I've done there is gone round and plugged my Martindale in. If you leave one person by the tester, plug it in and just give it a little wobble, it's enough to just give the socket a little shake if it's not completely painted in. And then the offending socket, you'll usually find either they've bitten down on the outer sheath on the sleeving, or as that's just happened, it pops straight out. So I'm just going to re-terminate this and we'll see if the reading gets better. That's re-terminated now. If we have a look, it's bang on, exactly what it should be. So we've been sending some questions on Instagram and Discord. One of them is, what do you like least about EICRs? It's things like this, like I've taken this socket off, done all my testing, I'm trying to put it back, and the accessory screw is stripped and the lug is damaged as well, so I'm going to have to re-thread it, get another accessory screw and then try and fix it all back. Now if you think, if I take off 10 sockets and this happens 10 times, you can see how the day starts to drag on, so I'd say that's probably it. Or when you take a socket off and there's about 5 cables in it as well, and then they pop out and you've got to try and fix it all. My pot of spares. Bits of mankiness in here that tries to get me out of trouble. Got a smaller screw. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Oh, I've got to screw that socket back now. Sockets up and kitchen. Maybe we should have a top 10 of things that are annoying on EICRs. So we've been sent in another question. Why did I decide to go from DNO to domestic electrical company? So the company I'd started my apprenticeship with, I stayed with for 12 years. They've done DNO stuff. They were a DNO, but they've done private networks, rewires, everything. So I've had a really good apprenticeship and saw the whole aspect of our trade. And yeah, just I got fed up, fancied a change, and went on to another company, and it was mainly doing EICRs. But I wanted to get back into installation work. I saw Artisan's YouTube videos and stuff, and I thought it's good quality work and they seem to have the right attitude toward electrical work, and that's why I pursued it to join Artisan. Oh, there's our cooker switch. 9 points down here. 12. I should be using my Artisan pen, shouldn't I? Not my Napit pen. Just thought we'd pause the video there just to tell you about our sponsor today, TRADIFY. Today I'll make all the notes of the work that's required here. Those notes will go back to Dan in the office, who can then quote looking at my pictures, knowing the materials that are needed, and then they can be forwarded on when the person returns to, then they can see my notes, know exactly what room the issue is in or what have you. So it's a really good way to capture data and make things run more smoothly day to day. I also love the navigation aspect of it. It's just so simple to just click navigate. It takes me onto Google Maps and then I ain't got to worry about it. I can just drive. If you'd like to give it a go, they currently have 50% off for the first 3 months. Links are in the description below. So we've got another question in. How experienced should you be as an electrician to start with EICRs? Well, that is a difficult question because there's so many different types of EICRs. So maybe if you've just done domestic and you start to domestic EICRs and you're very experienced in the types of installs, because you can't just have today's standards. You need to know all the previous editions of the regs and what was acceptable then. So it's very difficult. You've got to try and get a broad spectrum and get to understand each circuit and why it was designed that way. Was it acceptable then, even though it's not acceptable now? And then if you're going into commercial and industrial, that's a whole different kettle of fish. So yeah, very experienced, I would say, to do EICRs properly. So I'm doing the second ring in this house. If I do the live end to end, I'm getting 0.73, and on so the earth should be 1.67 times higher, and you can see it's not the case. So it could be a case that it's going through a kitchen appliance back onto the water, so it's got a better path back to the earth, like back to the bar. Could be a number of reasons, but I'm going to do my ring test and check that all of them sort of calculate out. But it just shows that it's real world, it doesn't always work out. So I reckon that's got a dishwasher and washing machine, so they'll be connected to the water and getting a better path back to the distribution board. But I'll start doing my figure of 8 test now. So I got another question in. How long did you work for the DNO and what was the best bit about it? I've just done my apprenticeship with them and stayed there for 12 years in total. The best thing about it, which I find with any company, is the people you work with. As long as you've got mates at work and it's a good laugh, then it would make me stay. And I just needed a change, so I left them. But that's what I find the best thing about work. No invisible supplementary. Right, let's go on to another circuit. So we're doing this EICR ahead of other works. We're replacing the consumer unit, and the customer's going to have an extension built and all future works. But the first stage of that is UK Power Networks are going to put a supply and move it outside. So they're going to cut the cable in the street and just put the supply outside. So as you can see, there's this plastic cover currently over, I don't know how much it would do, to be honest, but it's over the head and the meter because the boiler has leaked in the past. And it would have leaked straight on top of the service head, and having the pipes in this close proximity isn't ideal. So that's the first job we're going to do, is replace the consumer unit and then put tails outside and have the meter moved outside as well. Oh. How am I going to get to that then? I think I'm going to do an R2 test on that, which is actually behind this built-in cupboard. I'm not going to be able to get a screwdriver or a hand in there, so... God, I looked straight into that light and now I can't see a thing. We add this to the list of things that are bad about EICRs. I dropped the screw. I moaned at Luke about how rubbish his light was, and yet I'm blinding myself with this one. Go on, work on it. Oh, it's a big shadow in the way. Now you ain't got nothing.
The shadow's over here.
No, put your hand next to the socket that you're working on, and you're casting a shadow on it.
Please tell me where there's a shadow on this socket at any point.
I just don't get it. Really don't get the big deal with those ones.
We had a late night last night, I think.
So all I would say to people when working on these boards, if you are putting links in without shutting the whole board off, in an ideal world we'd work in this completely dead. However, we live in the real world where people are working from home, and it's a bigger problem these days. So if you are going to put a link in to link out a circuit, make sure you turn the circuit next to it off, because you can see how exposed these are at the top, and then only take this to grab too hard and pop off, and it can slip across and touch one of the other ones, and then you've got no test lead anymore. So I'm about to link this one out, so I'm going to make sure that's off. Oh, there's trunking up here. Usually there's this cables lashed along the top, and it's actually a bit of trunking. Oh no, wait, the trunking's not fixed either. Okay, I'll take it back. So I had another question in, how did I become an electrician? I've done a 4-year modern apprenticeship with a DNO, or what was a DNO. It was I had such an amazing opportunity. They had jobs on industrial sites, commercial, domestic. There was an ongoing rewire contract that they had for 15 years. So anytime there was any downtime between industrial jobs, we got thrown onto that. So you got to learn both aspects of the trade. It was such an amazing opportunity. Something that not a lot of people get to do these days because it just isn't the opportunities and the apprenticeships out there, unfortunately. Not terminated well. You got the basic insulation showing. In all honesty, you need a ladder to access it, so you could argue you need a tool to access it. So is it a C3 or a C2? C2 for the basic insulation, but then if you need a tool to access it, is it really a C2 or would it be a C3? Let me know what you guys think. I carried on pulling and I got the chop box out, and even there they've not terminated it very well. You can see the basic insulation and they're crushing down on the inner cores, so they've double failed really. Oh, it's actually got a heat hood up there. Oh, you called it, Max, you called it. So there's the difference. So the other one was encapsulated, showing a bit of basic insulation, and now I've got exposed connectors. They're not in the box like the other one was. So yeah, I'd definitely code that as a C2. I hate this job. What number are we on to? Reasons why I hate EICRs. Is it number 4? Yeah, I can't get that back up now, so that's staying like this. I'll have a look at this one and see why it ain't staying back up. It's little bits like this that just eat into the time, frustrate you, and damage is done. I've cut myself 3 times on it. Oh, right, get a big wipe. Tool of the day, big wipes. They get anything off of anything, including blood. There must be about 5 minutes of me sighing on this, isn't there? So there's another light fitting connected up poorly. It is class 2, so it doesn't require an earth, it's all plastic. Again, the connectors are just left out. So I've got another question. What's the biggest change in the electrical industry you've noticed since you began your career? So when I started, it was still the 16th edition and just changed into the 17th edition, and it's now the 18th edition, and the standards between those 3 are quite substantial. And I don't know, I feel like social media and stuff like that has made a big impact on the industry. People are proud of their work and they're showing it off, and it's giving people more of a platform to promote themselves. I think that's quite a big change. Electrically, probably AFDDs, if they ever do come in properly, will be quite a game changer as well. No, it was only the spacing of these, so it's kind of near in line. I don't know why there isn't one there, but it's just this. I can't understand the spacing for these 3 here. Sink, oven, is that just microwave? Just upsets me. Why is it not centered with the others? Ooh, previous Spark didn't have their Weetabix. That's really limp. I'm just heading up into the loft to have an inspection, see if I can find any of the JBs and have a good little route around. Oh, it's so spacious up here. So it's fully boarded up here. So I don't know, what would you guys do in terms of inspection? Would you class it like under the floor boards, because you don't lift them up in part of the inspections? Would you be expected to lift up the chipboard flooring up here to try and find the joint boxes and what have you? Let us know what you think. There's nothing around here, is there? There's literally nothing for me to inspect. So I've had another question in. What things would you like to see changed in the industry? I think we should have a sort of electricians register like we have the gas safe register. And I think Joe Public shouldn't be able to buy things like consume units cable and stuff like that. It's what's causing this industry to go downhill is unqualified people installing it. Everything I find on an EICR is either by an untrained electrician or a DIYer. If you took these things away from them, they couldn't install them. And then maybe have serial numbers on every single one of the consumer units, which is registered to the person that installed it. And then you've got a badge of honor, you have to own that. So you're gonna take responsibility for it. It's gonna be signed off and everything comes down to you then. Maybe put seals on boards to prove who was the last person inside the consumer unit as well. Because things can't carry on like this. The skills in the industry had gone and just diluting and diluting. And there's only a few people who are trying to hold it up and make things better. And it's just very sad to see. We used to be the best in the world, electricians, but now we're nothing. So I've got an old gas pipe here coming in. So I want to test to see if that's introducing a potential into the property. So if I go on continuity to the earth bar and touch it, I'm getting nothing. However, what we need to do is carry out an insulation resistance test. We're looking for anything lower than 0.22 mega ohms, so 22,000 ohms is deemed to be introducing an earth path. So I'm getting 0 mega ohms to earth. So this needs to be tagged. So when we come to change the consumer unit, we'll install an MET and put an earth clamp on that. So then everything's at the same potential, because at the minute, these two are different potential. The two different earth paths, although I'm not sure if that's plastic. That might be plastic. It's bonded anyway, but that's how you got to check these. The number you're looking for is 0.22. If it's 0.23, technically it's over, but it's low enough, then you might consider it. But if there was nothing there, then the meter would just jump straight round to 999. When he had it rewired, he just moved the old consumer unit from the house out here, and they just gave him a little shed supply. So you can see it's quite old. You've also got the cover missing off of these and the carriers, so all of these would be live under normal conditions, so it's not ideal. But you can't get a finger in there, so is it an exposed live part? But there's normally a cover that would go on the front. Let's whip the cover off and have a look. That's the wrong gauge. That's a 15 amp fuse wire in there. So it's the same size as the 15 amp. So that's the problem with these. It just takes someone shoving the wrong fuse wire in, and then the circuit's then unsafe. So I don't know if you saw another video, I was talking about one of these old Wilex boards, saying that they come in different degrees of safety and what have you. So this one's actually wooden backed. So this is an older one. So they did change the plastic. It has got the insulators on the incoming parts, but it's not got the insulator here, which came on later models. And like I said before, this switch, you just can't tell if it's on or off sometimes when the cover's off. So just be incredibly careful, because it's so easy to touch that bar. This is isolated, by the way. That's why I'm being quite liberal with it. And if you're putting a shorting out link, it's difficult to see which way the switch is. So if you link the switch from there to the bar and then not realise, you can end up turning it on and then taking out take out the main fuse if you're not careful. So I've put an R1, R2 link from my bus bar to the earth bar. And if we just pop these carriers back in, I can test both of these radials at the same time without moving my link around. Oh, that fuse is in upside down. Let's try that again. That's better. 0.15, 0.05. Right, that's all done for today. Hopefully you got something out of it, and we'll see you at the next one.